Welcome to Take Action and Get Profits with Michele Scism, where entrepreneurs come together to discuss business growth strategies, marketing ideas, techniques, and tips. Brought to you by the Tough Talk Radio Network. Now here's your host, Michele Scism.
Good afternoon and welcome to Take Action, Get Profits. This is not Michele Scism. This is Sandy Lawrence. I am a participant in Michele's Millionaire Minds program, and I am also her publicist, and I work closely with others on her team. So it's just a real special opportunity for me to be able to fill in for her, especially as she's on this road trip right now to Orlando, Florida, where she will be a on-the-stage speaker for Suzanne Evans. And in thinking about this, so this is Memorial Day, lots of stuff going on. I just got back from vacation on Saturday night where I spent 2 weeks with my family, my brothers and sisters and cousins, and in a place in Alabama where we all grew up, and we've all, of course, scattered except for a few that still live there. So it's kind of like we get together once a year and have a great time. So now back to reality, and reality for me is a life that I love. And while I was there, I spent quite a bit of time working on my client stuff, because what I do for my clients can be done from anywhere, so I help them with publicity. So I spent some time with Michele's programs. She has an event coming up in September, and I will be a sponsor. I was a sponsor there last year. So what I did was, while I was there looking out at the lake and enjoying the peace and the quiet and playing games with family and all that kind of stuff, I thought about what I do for my clients and how I love all aspects of my life. I love that I can be on this great vacation and still be productive and producing programs for my clients. And so I started writing about that and doing some journaling, and then when I mentioned to Michele what I was doing, she asked me to go ahead and write a blog post for her. So Michele's website is decisiveminds.com, and if you go to that website, you'll be able to see this blog post that I did, and it's all on sponsorships, because I really am thinking while I'm there, here I am, her event's coming up in September. I will be a sponsor for her event. I was there last year, like I said. I got several new clients as a result of that. Just went to Toronto, Canada, a few weeks ago, where I sponsored another event. And I started doing some research on what is sponsorship. You know, why do I spend my time and my money, because it costs to be a sponsor, and why do I spend my time and money sponsoring these events? You could be a sponsor. You do that as one part of your business development. If not, then, I was thinking it's something we all should consider, because it does a lot of things for you. And so this blog post, I went to, where do you see sponsorships the most? And as a PR person, I stay up to date on all the latest, what's going on in the media, what special days this is, what special week. Well, last week, the third week of May, besides being the week before Memorial Day, was also NASCAR week, National NASCAR Week. And I looked at that, and I looked at those cars and just doing some research, and it occurred to me, wow, every car you see has sponsorship logos from front to back. And I took some pictures that I found of different sponsorships in NASCAR. And, of course, GoDaddy's got a big car with their logo on it. Lowe's has a car with their logo on it, Home Depot. And usually they sponsor either the driver or the car or the, whatever the company is. And I just kind of related that to how I sponsor when I sponsor the events in Toronto and in Houston and with other particular clients. And what's my goal in there? Why do I spend money on sponsorships? Why do I pay to have my name and my logo on what Michele Scism does, or on what Kelly McCausey did at the Exposure and Profit in Canada? And it's all because it's all about building connections. I have a connection with Michele Scism that's different than me being her publicist or her being part of her Millionaire Minds program. This is all about I believe enough in what she does that I'm investing in it. And so it gets you a special place. I mean, she has an event for sponsors. She recognizes the sponsors during the event. I get to stand out as a sponsor of these programs, and it gives me, so not only am I doing something to support them, I get recognition for my sponsorship. So when you think about how you build your business, and today's radio show is Take Action, Get Profits. I'm going to be talking to two guests about their business and what they do and how they get profits. And I want to ask you listening today, whether you're listening live or you're listening to the recording of this, or you're one of the guests on today's show or one of the guests on another show that's sponsored by Tough Talk Radio Network or another of Michelle's shows, is what do you do? What relationship do you have with Michele and with the other speakers and hosts? And what do you do to promote your business? And do you consider sponsorship? And if not, maybe you should. You can get sponsorship at different levels. It can be very cost effective. You're the one who has to look at what your budget is and look to see where would you be a sponsor. And obviously you want to sponsor someone that, first of all, you want to build a relationship with. Second, someone whose programs reach your target market. I know that everyone attending Michelle's event in September is a potential client for me. They are my ideal client. And my ideal client is a business owner who is fun, energetic, sees value in publicity, and who wants to invest their time and money in getting ahead and reaching their goals. That's my target market. And if that is the type of business owner that will be at Michelle's event in September. So I'm telling you about sponsorships today. I'm also promoting Michele Scism. She has two guests that I'm going to introduce to you, and she has an event coming up in September, and she has this regular program on Tony Gambone, another close friend of mine, and his Tough Talk Radio Network. So my goal is to bring it all together. What can I do, what can I say that will promote Tony Gambone and his Tough Talk Radio Network and his Tough Talk Business Network, and promote my client, Michele Scism, and what she's doing to bring profitability to the small business community through her programs, and then to introduce the two guests for today to that whole mix. So think about it. How do you promote your business? How do you get publicity? And how do you get new clients? What do you do for business development? And it should include some of the things we've discussed or I've discussed in the last few minutes that consider sponsorship, and do some homework. Do your homework, do some research, and look to see what's the benefit of doing a sponsorship or being a sponsor, and what do you get out of it. And if you have any questions, you feel free to contact me. My name again is Sandy Lawrence. I am Perceptive Public Relations, perceptivepublicrelations.com, and I'll be happy to answer any questions on sponsorship or publicity. So now I'm going to let Mr. Gambone, my good friend and colleague, take it away for a commercial break, and when we come back, I will be talking to Shelley Sanders. And Shelley, I'm looking forward to talking to you. Just sent you a friend request on Facebook and can't wait to hear more about you and your business. So thank you, and Tony, take it away.
Lauren Jono is an elite, international certified, high-performance coach, author, and speaker with over 15 years' experience helping clients transform so that they are living bolder, happier, and more successful lives. Through a combination of her world-class coaching program and exclusive assessments, her mission is to get to the crux of your issues quickly and accurately, and then guide you to achieve sustained and higher levels of clarity, joy, energy, connection, influence, and overall performance in every area of your life. To learn more or to contact Lauren, go to laurenjono.com.
Listen to The Legal Eagle and The Coach each Wednesday from noon to 1 p.m. on Tough Talk Radio Network. Leading local and national experts in business will share their keys to success so that our listening audience can be educated, and entertained along the way to becoming all they can be. So whether you're new to business or highly experienced, The Legal Eagle and the Coach with hosts David Alterburn and Brian Kaiser is a great radio program for you. For more information, go to legaleagleandthecoachradio.com.
Entrepreneurs, it's time to get real. Stop working so hard and learn to do the things that matter. If your business is not successful and you know your stuff and are getting results for your clients, it's not your fault. The good news is you can change it and your bottom line. All it takes is having the right strategy and being able to follow a consistent plan for your business success. Learn how at Michele Scism's 3-day event in Houston in September. Go to takeactiongetprofits.com to learn more.
And welcome back. Thank you for that commercial break, my friend Tony. And now we're back, and I am going to introduce to you our first guest, and her name is Shelley Sanders. I love her marketing statement, business intuitive. So, Shelley Sanders, welcome to Take Action, Get Profits.
Hi, Sandy. How are you?
I'm very good, Shelley. How are you doing this Memorial Day weekend?
I am doing great. I'm so happy to be here.
Thank you. I'm so glad that you're here, too. And I want to just tell people a little bit about you. I'm looking at, and then I'll ask you to fill in the blanks, because I'm looking at your not your Facebook page, but your website, Shelley Sanders Business Intuitive, and the website is transitionmybiz.com. So if anyone listening wants to look with me, you'll be able to see what Shelley looks like, and also read her story. And I love your whole website, your background. I love the butterfly, of course. That's one of my brands. And loved reading your story and a familiar story from what I hear of people who have a passion, have a desire, have a talent, have a gift as a young person, as a child, even as you were at the age of 4, and then through life, either through family or friends or whatever things that happen to us, sometimes we have a tendency to lose that passion or lose that gift, and you did at the suggestion of some family members. And so I'm going to have you tell us about that in a second. And I just love how you are back again. You're back, Shelley. You're living the life that you wanted to live. You've got the gifts and utilizing those gifts. And so I'm so glad to see that. My passion is helping people tell their story. And I can't tell you how many times I meet a person who's generally much older than you, either in retirement, and they're finally back to living the life they always wanted to live. And I always feel like, wow, what a great story they had earlier, and how, sad it is they waited till so late in life to get to live this. But I'm excited for you. So tell me fill in the detail for those listening about your gifts, your earthbound spirits, and the gifts and the talents that you had as a child, and then kind of how that was squelched a little bit along the way.
Absolutely. So at the age of 4, I was able to see earthbound spirits. And for me, they were in color, they were solid, they looked like any other adult member in my family. So it was one particular spirit who was a woman, and she would talk to me all the time, and I would talk to her. And my grandmother and her sister, they understood what was happening, because in their family, women are able to, they actually have this ability. But for my grandfather and other people in the family, it actually frightened them. And so they would threaten not to visit us or come to the house anymore if I continued doing it. And so it got to the point where my mother had me to choose. She said, either you keep talking to these spirits or you can't visit your grandmother anymore. So, for me at 4 years old, that was really a terrifying thing. And in order to do that, of course, I had to choose my family, because that's all I knew. But what I didn't understand was when I turned my back on that spirit world, I also turned my back on myself, because I didn't get a chance to develop, to understand who I really am. And also that I had to pretend like I was the other kids, so I would watch what the other kids were doing, and then I would mimic what they would do, so they wouldn't know that spirits were still connecting with me and speaking with me. So it made it really difficult in life, and it wasn't until I got